Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new edition of the Triple Trio, a weekly look at all things Hong Kong racing and also a global look with the best form analysts in the business in Clint Hutchison and the Hall of Famer in Raymond Shane Dye, and this is the week we've been looking forward to.
Isn't it what, Richo? Yeah, I mean, just such good racing on the weekend. We've got the Everest, all this hype, all this talk. Looking forward to that, the Caulfield Cup as well, and racing overseas. Just probably the best weekend of racing in the world of the year, I'd say.
Incredible, Shane. We're so excited about seeing the Hong Kong champ running the Everest.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge day. There'll be plenty of people there. There'll be a lot of excitement, and of course, Sweet Caroline's going to be sung.
Oh, it damn straight it will be. And I was singing a little bit too, because last week you boys, as always, doing your things.
Then we go race 3, Daily Trophy, gate 10. He'll be midfield somewhere. He's got a chance. He's racing well. He ran well the other day.
Wise Man makes ground 2, but Daily Trophy is going to be rewarded for consistency with a handsome win. Skyheart lifting over Master of All. The red head, Tim Fook, but Skyheart won the last.
I think like a Lucy and have some Cornellas with Transatlantic and Evaporate.
Like a Lucy from nowhere, Transatlantic will evaporate the outside. Transatlantic and Evaporate, they go to the line. Transatlantic just been Evaporate like a Lucy.
I'm going to be a little different to others there, and I can just see a scenario where Autumn Boy improves big time.
Autumn Boy at the 100 metres. Planet Red trying hard, but it's Autumn Boy, a star in October.
And once again, if you come on the show, you either ride or train winners. Luke Ferraris with a treble previously. Casper comes on, bang, a double.
Yeah, you like it. You've got to come on the show. You want winners, come on the show.
Well, guess who's coming on the show?
Who's coming on?
David Hayes, our very special guest. So we're really looking forward to Hazy talking all things Hong Kong, but also Ka Ying Rising in the Everest. The Idol as well. Andrea Atzeni is our inside running special guest. We're previewing races at Sha Tin on Sunday. And that's where we start. Sunday is for Sha Tin.
Galaxy Patch, red line through the centre, but it's Voyage Bubble. He won it last year, and again, he wins the Stewards Cup. But Voyage Bubble, he put them away over Ching Glory in Shoot and Winning Dragon. But I'll just drop in from Riyadh, says James McDonald, and grab the City Hong Kong Gold Cup.
And he's clear. Voyage Bubble, 31 years on since River Vernon. He's a Triple Crown victor. He's a Triple Crown champion.
It is My Wish in front. Davano screeching up the inside. My Wish is in front of Davano. My Wish for the Classic Mile. Patience is a virtue, and it is for Luke Ferraris as My Wish hit the gap and won the Celebration Cup.
The Sha Tin Trophy is our feature. It's a Group 2 race, and hard to believe, no ride for Zach Pert, no ride for Huey Bowman. Yeah. What's going on?
Well, it's a handicap race, Richo, so just the conditions of the race with Voyage Bubble being there means that so many of this field have got the light weights.
That's right, so limited opportunities for them. Who have you got on top?
Oh, My Wish. I've got him priced pretty short too. I think he'll be very, very hard to beat. He's that next generation coming through. I've got him marked odds on. Voyage Bubble fresh up. I'll be against him with the weight as well. Happy Together's a very interesting runner. Weights and Measures says he's right in the game, and you could probably say the same about Galaxy Patch as well. We'll look at some of their work later. Shane, this was, of course, My Wish's first up win. We'll look at his trial in a moment, but he returned in good form, and the key plus here is just the weight factor. He's getting a lot of weight off Bubble and one other rival, and he also has had the benefit of a run.
Yeah, it's a lot of weight, 20 pounds, Clint, for a horse who races on pace and can quicken like this. He won't know what's going on. He was impressive here, but there wasn't much between this field, Clint. They all went across the line within 3 lengths. Here's the trial, which was very important. A few horses a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it was. It was a nice piece of work from My Wish. He just absolutely ran through the line so well.
Just trucking.
Yeah, he was trucking. I mean, it's an important factor, though, the benefit of a run. I think it's 175 days for Galaxy Patch, who won this race last year since he last ran. And Voyage Bubble usually gets better with a run too, and he's had the benefit of a run. So I think it is highly significant. Others that have trialled well, I think Cap Ferrat was in that heat. He seems like he's going pretty well. So it's an interesting race, but I think that benefit of race fitness is very, very much key, Richo.
Yeah, it's just so exciting to see all these quality horses back. But the weights and measures of this, the fact that Bowman and Purton can't get a ride just summarises it perfectly, doesn't it? Voyage Bubble giving a whole stack of weights, but he's earned that weight.
He has earned that weight, and we know what a superstar is. I mean, to win the Triple Crown is something pretty special. In fact, you mentioned the top two jockeys. 4 of the top 5 from last season aren't riding.
Right,
so,
okay.
I think tactically that does put an interesting dimension in the race. Shane, this was last year in this race, and Bubble was 3 wide, no cover. Galaxy Patch got him this day off a shorter break between runs, and it was the perfect setup for Galaxy Patch. How did you think Galaxy Patch would run this year?
Well, I actually don't think he had much luck in most races. He got wrong rides and was unlucky, and he could have won a couple, which he didn't. As for Voyage Bubble, you realise that he's had 4 runs first up and never won. He's always placed, but he has never won, which is a bit of a worry with 135 pounds. But he's going to run well. He's trialling here. And, of course, Galaxy Patch is on the inside there trialling well. And there's 13 pounds between the two. So, you'd think there wouldn't be much between these horses with that weight advantage.
Okay, so are you a weights and measures guy? Have you got My Wish on top, Shane?
Oh, definitely. You got an awkward gait. He'll go forward a bit. I've got him on top from Happy Together, Voyage Bubble and Galaxy Patch. Cap Ferrat, the horse Clint mentioned before, his 2 trials have been good. His first one was a lot better than the second one. But remember last year, he went extremely well first up and run second. And, of course, he's the Derby winner. He's got gate 3. He's going to get an easy run, about 5th or 6th, I would say. He's definitely not the worst with 115 pounds.
They've got to go forward on My Wish in this race. They've got fitness. They've got no weight on their back. Alexi Bedell, of course, takes over from Luke with the weight. It's up for grabs. I think it'd be disastrous if they tried to do anything different. So hopefully he's positive on him.
Well, maybe drawing wide forces the hand to go forward as opposed to giving it other opportunities.
Yeah,
so
it won't work out well for him if they try to go back, that's for sure.
We go to race number 8 here. Hutch, how did you line this one up when we look at our next race here?
It's a really interesting move, I think, with Patch of Stars coming back in trip. He's presented to win twice over 14, and the more I look at the replays, I'm not surprised they're coming back to 12, maybe on the advice of Zach Purton. Got him $3 favourite. Star Rise, what a debut in Hong Kong. 450 second. Infinite Resolves in good form, a runner-up. And Chateau Neuf will map much better this time around for Hazy. We'll hear from him shortly. Shane, Patch of Stars, I think he'll be coiled up from gate 1, in behind. You couldn't have had enough on at this point this day, but what was your take on 14 back to 12? Is it just a case of he doesn't get the trip?
Well, he's won 3 times over at Clint. You've got to remember this day, at 135 pounds, he had gate 14 and he went forward. And he doesn't normally go that close. He always races 5th, 6th, even back a bit when he was racing better. He was ridden too close and he didn't get it, and that's why. Back to 1200 will benefit him. From gate 1, he'll box seat. He's going to be extremely... I thought he would go to 100, this horse, on a couple of his runs. And at this stage, it doesn't look as though he's going to get there. But you've got to remember, last season he took 3 or 4 runs to come right. And when he did, he looked extremely good.
Yeah, I personally think whilst he's won over 1400, that's against inferior opposition. When you go up, it gets a little bit tougher.
You like him at 12?
I thought he's had some chances. I don't mind him back to 12. I think the setup here is really good either way. Like, he's going to be with cover, probably leaders back and get his opportunity. And I think you'll see a little bit more brilliance. So I'm not surprised they come back in distance with him personally. And I think it's a very winnable race for him.
Okay, who are the dangers?
Yeah, it's a good race. I mean, in Infinite Resolves, definitely are right in the game. This was a good run, Shane. We've got healthy. Chateau Neuf won't be so far back this time. So Infinite Resolve, I think, on the back of this performance, he was beaten by a very good one in the eventual winner, one of the Bulb horses. And I think Infinite Resolve's Bob General has got a very good chance on the back of this run.
Yeah, he went better because he was ridden further back. They were riding him up there and he wasn't going as well. There he went back. This went extremely well, Star Rise. got back and run on well, and it was a very good run. He's got gate 4, so he may not get quite as far back, and he can track the 2 favourites, being Prince of Stars and Infinite Resolve.
What was interesting with this horse, Star Rise, is that he was negatively ridden from the gate. He was held up at the top of the straight. He could be much closer. I'm all with Shane here. He could be mapped right there, benefit of a run. That race rated well, and he is a serious contender.
We've got him in for second, Shane. Let's have a look at your numbers.
I'm going Patch of Stars. I'm giving him another chance. I just had him too highly rated to drop off him yet. 4, Infinite Resolve, and, of course, Star Rise. And I think those 3 actually stand out here in the race.
Okay, we move to race number 9 here, Hutch. We move out to the 1,400 metres, a Class 3, and you're with the toppy.
Yeah, he needs, talking about needing a bit of luck. I know Shane was mentioning Galaxy Patch last year. Didn't all go well. This horse, gee whiz, he's had some bad luck. Flying Fortress was wide last start. Harold Wins in good form. Everyone's Star, I think, certainly in the game as well. Back in class with Brilliant Express. Look, this day he just was too neutral early, I thought, Shane. Got a long way out of his ground. We've seen Tomodachi Kokoro come out and win again since. They ran some serious time this day. And I think back in class, up in trip, Brilliant Express with Huey on board, it's a big chance.
As you said, the biggest thing is dropping in class from 2 to 3, and this was a good race. He ran very well, got home in quick time, and it was a good run. He's going to be very hard to beat. And you also got to remember he's got gate 5, so he's definitely not going to get as far back from there.
And
he's going to 1,400.
Yeah.
And Huey Bowman rides Brilliant Express. We'll have a look at the replay of Everyone's Star. Zach Purton jumps on here for Everyone's Star, draws a wide barrier.
Yeah, I think it's a problem for him where he's drawn, Richo, because I don't see Zach necessarily pressing early. This was the meeting where the fence was very good spot to be, and a couple of them left it, and Joe Moreira stayed on the fence and won. He's a nice horse, Everyone's Star, but he's just had one trial as well, Shane. I thought there'd be improvement to come.
Yeah, well, you got to remember he had surgery on his fetlocks, I think, in June. What I always remember of this horse was his first up run last season. It was sensational. He went really well. He come from last and run 4th. He trialled very well with the one trial this season. So he's definitely not the worst. But as you said, he's got an awkward gait and he's going to need a little bit of luck.
Yeah, he's got some good horses that are drawn and probably map a little bit better, Richard. Yeah. That's the issue. And there's no doubt he's got a little bit of upside as well, and he's got the brilliance of Mr. Purton on board. So there's some good positive factors there.
Who is dominating, isn't he, in the premiership already and early on. Shane, how did you line up race number 9?
I've definitely got Brilliant Express on top. The drop in class will benefit him. Everyone's Star, and Harold Win from gate 2 should get the right run. His run the other day was okay.
Oh, wow, you guys have agreed in all 3. You know how this plays out.
Let's hope we're right.
Let's hope how this plays out, punters. Absolute fill out. We'll also look at our best bets later on in the program, but we've got to get to our star power guest, the Hall of Famer, David Hayes.
At the 200-metre mark, 2 lengths in front. Better loosen up, going after him, but running in and further out of the track with a great run is Ode. Ode is after Karkaweepies. Better loosen up, and the middle is coming with a magnificent run. Karkaweepies, better loosen up, and Ode. Better loosen up, and the middle's put his head in front. Better loosen up has run for Australia.
Elegant Fashion goes to the lead. It's historical. The filly runs away. Elegant Fashion goes to Southcliff, draws a length on her. Out wide of Beverly Green staying on. But Mosse wins with the filly Elegant Fashion by nearly a length.
It's Aquadamore the leader. Our Smoking Joe fighting back. Torquay coming from a long way back. And Activation out wide. Centre fight in the centre. Aquadamore in front. Torquay gets a late split. Torquay grabs the lead. Torquay wins the Caulfield Cup.
Ka Ying Rising, 6 in front of Lucky With You. The world's best sprinter is going to teach them a galloping lesson.
Our star power guest has been the talk of the town. He is the Hall of Fame trainer in David Hayes, who joins us, the super coach of the super horse in Ka Ying Rising. Hazy, as always, mate, great to chat to you. And importantly, how have you enjoyed this week, the build-up towards the Everest?
It's been pretty intense, but it's exciting. We just can't wait to get him there now. Just got back from the track this morning, and he's his weight's in the zone. He's relaxed. He's eating, and I think they'll see the real horse on the weekend.
Yeah, we're all certainly hoping that. There's been a lot of chat about the trials, etc. Of course, leading in, David, I'm sure you've probably had enough of all that. But the most important thing, and Shane brings it up a fair bit, about the body weight. So it sounds like he's back to his fighting weight?
Yeah, look, he's eating 4 feeds every day, and his weight he'll probably be the same weight as first up in Hong Kong, which is 20 pounds above he won. And that's 20 pounds bigger than his average weight from last year. So I think he's just a bigger, better horse. When he got beat those couple of times, he was immature. Now he's fully matured, and this should be his golden season.
Has he enjoyed quarantine? Because I believe Canterbury is a fantastic facility for him.
Look, the AJC have been wonderful, and the Canterbury facility is, you've got the course proper at your beck and call every day. It's a very, in the city, but it's a very sort of provincial feel, very country. The horse in Hong Kong jig jogs before he goes out because it's so busy through the tunnels, which Shane would tell you how busy it is. It's intense. Where here, he's just walking everywhere and he's swaggering around and he's just loving it. It's just fantastic.
And the feedback from, this was the final piece of work. This was probably the most important work, I suppose, David, after the trial, the gallop earlier in the week, his regular rider on board. What was the feedback there?
Look, he said if he gave him a squeeze, he would have exploded, but we'll save that for the weekend. But, Hong Kong horses are trained a little bit differently than Aussie horses. We don't go as hard as they do in Aussie. But I've just kept him at his normal routine. Kept it the same as Hong Kong as much as possible.
Shane, you've seen rumour and innuendo over the years in racing. I can't remember one like this.
He's created most of it.
You're right.
Yeah.
I can't remember one like this, though. Anyone would think that he'd lost a leg, Shane?
Yeah, well, his trial wasn't great, to be honest, and I'm sure David would say that. So that was a little bit of a worry, and then it starts from there. I want to ask David one question. In Hong Kong, he swims all the time or a lot. He hasn't been able to swim in Canterbury. Do you think that has affected him at all?
Look, he loves his swimming too, Shane. It's something that is incorporated in his training. It's the only thing different that he hasn't been doing, but he does a lot of extra walking in the afternoon to compensate. He has longer walks than he does in Hong Kong. The weather's easier. Hong Kong is so hot. Here it's beautiful weather. So time will tell, but I think he'll be okay, Shane. I'm not worried about it.
Okay, that's great news. Here's the field, Hazy, and there's class from top to bottom. Who do you think, when we analyse this field, who do you think's the hardest to beat?
Chris Waller's trio are, all legitimate Group 1 horses. The up-and-coming horse in the field in the X Factor is my son's horse, War Machine. That was a very impressive win. And, the Stradbroke has turned into a pretty good guide over the years. But I think most of the stars in this field, ideal distance is probably 1,400 or a mile if you ask the trainers.
Yeah.
Where this horse, my horse, is a world-class sprinter. So that might be, I think, advantage Ka Ying, and the market says that.
Marzu, who we're taking a look at here, was a sort of a late entry into the race. Do you see that as an advantage, David? Because it was an interesting sort of speed map prior to that. It was almost like Ka Ying and Overpass were going to control the race, and now you got Marzu and Overpass that might do that, and it might afford you the opportunity to get a lovely run. What's your take on the pace and the race shape of the Everest this year?
I think it's a pretty obvious race map. The two speed influences, there's three with me, they'll go forward. If they don't go forward as fast as Ka Ying wants, Ka Ying will just take it up. But if they go hard, and Zach wants to, he'll take a sit, because probably his most impressive track record performances is when he's taken a sit. So he's got that lovely barrier. He's got the speed inside, the speed outside, or he'll take if he's not happy. Like the other day, he could have led Overpass by 5 lengths in the trial. And that trial, getting back to it, they ran home in 58. This horse can run 55. So it was just a trot, walk and canter. And he stargazed the last 50 metres. And I rated it like a 7 out of 10. Zach thought it was the worst trial he's ever done, but I wasn't worried.
He can talk it down a bit, though, Zach.
He can.
talk
He's a
things down.
pessimist and you're an optimist. Shane, do you have the champ winning?
If he turns up, he wins easy. There's no other horse in the race. He's 3 lengths better than them, at the least 3 lengths. Like, I've got Ka Ying Rising on top from Jimmy Starr, who'll sit back. This horse trialled terrible the other day, Angel Capital, and he sweated up very badly, but he's got ability, he's got a good gait, he'll just get the right run, and if he can rebound from that trial, he's not the worst. But if he turns up, he wins. That's not a dispute.
I've got great faith in Hazy. I think he'll be extremely hard to beat, and looking forward to him turning up. So go Ka Ying. I think he's the one to beat.
Ka Ying, the champ, to win the Everest. Our star power guest is the Hall of Famer in David Hayes. Hazy, Sunday is going to be an important day for you because, by gee, you've started the season with a little bit of style. You'd be thrilled how you're going.
Yeah, it's been good, and I think I'll be able to got a good enough team to be able to stay in the top 3. And Mark Newman's flying and Casper's flying, and just ask Casper. But he won't want to relax. I'll be clipping his heels.
So that beautiful rivalry between you two still sounds like it's alive and well?
Yes, it is. He's a competitive beast, and I can be at times.
We need to get that photo back in the day of you beating him in the sprint race.
Oh,
again,
mate, you've still got him covered, Hazy, haven't you?
Just remind him of that occasionally. What's that race? Had him in 3 strides.
He looked like those Australian sprinters, he did.
I would like to see another one between them now. That would be interesting.
Might be a 20-metre one.
Yeah, that's right.
When they toe out that bad, they never have pace.
Hip replacement, knee replacement, tying up the left, right and centre. Let's have a look at your runners, Hazy, for a big day on Sunday.
A couple of interesting runners. One of them's Ka Ying Glory, Hazy, who's a horse that's obviously nicely bred and a horse that has trialled well.
A half brother to the champ.
Yeah, he looks actually. This horse looks a bit more like a miler to me. But can you tell us about him?
Yeah, I think you got him dead right, Clint. He's I think he'll come into his own at 7 furlongs in a mile. He's doing a bit wrong and goes a bit hard early. I think this race will bring him on a lot. I'd be a bit surprised if he could win at 1,200, but he'll be competitive because he's drawn a good gate. Yeah, and
another horse that can run well for you, Chateau Neuf. Probably got a long way out of his ground the other day, David, but he might be able to settle a bit closer here and looks a competitive chance. He just got too far out of his ground in the replay we're about to take a look at.
Yeah, look, he drew badly and we decided to go back and it didn't work. He's drawn better this time and he'll be up on the pace. And when you've got top weight, it's nice that you don't have to be making too much ground in the straight. But I think he's got his weight, but he deserves it.
Yeah, he's very consistent sort of galloper, so I think hopefully he can be in the mix. And what about Fortune Boy in the last? I mean, he surprised me a bit towards the end of last season. He really sort of put a few terrific runs together.
He's got a big positive with blinkers on for the first time. He put a few together, 3 good runs in a row at the end of the season, and now he's out to the mile with the blinkers. I think he'll be pretty competitive. Probably that's my recommendation from the Hayes team for the day.
Okay, so you've got a number of runners throughout the day.
While we have you as well, Hazy, I wanted to ask you about a horse that was a bit of a star for you last year on the way to the Derby in terms of Ruby Lot, because presuming you would have had a sort of plan mapped out for him this year, and there's this race on the weekend, for example, a lot of horses didn't get in, and Ruby Lot's a horse that you'll be targeting some of the features in December.
Yeah, look, Ruby was planned for that race, but they've changed the ratings of the Cup race next week, and so he's running there. He did a nice trial yesterday, but incredible, being 105 rated. It shows the depth in Hong Kong at the moment. He couldn't get a run. So, he's an international Group 1 place getter and one of the lead-ups to the Derby. So he's a good horse. When he draws right, there's not much between him and My Wish.
Right.
And you saw My Wish is probably going to test that good horse on the weekend, Voyage Bubble.
Yeah. So what's the number one target for him, Ruby Lot?
Probably he'll run in the international lead-up mile and we'll make a decision whether we stay at a mile or go to 2,000. He's won from 1,000 to being Group 1 place to 2,400. So There's a lot of flexibility. It's incredible. He's a Rubik, but he would be, if he raced in Australia, a weight for age horse.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's a good push.
amazing.
You mentioned also when we were talking about the Everest, you mentioned your son's horses. I love the piece that Adam Pengley put together for Idle Horse in regards to this magnificent dynasty that started with the great one in C.S. Hayes. You'd be thrilled with this.
Yeah, I really enjoyed reading it. He put some thought into it, and it's nice that the boys are really gaining momentum. And as I said, it gives Prue and I a lot of pleasure sitting back watching the racing on the weekends and seeing them having horses go through the grades and compete at the top level.
Hazy, should be very proud. The boys have done an amazing job and they're doing it week in, week out. But I want to know one thing. Have you still got them covered in terms of a little bit of giving them a bit of lip and just keeping them in check?
Please.
How's the banter going?
Their horse has to come up 30 pounds, doesn't he? So, he probably will, but he does need to jump 30 pounds. But I think this horse, War Machine, Brightside's going well and getting older. This will be the obvious replacement for him. I think he's got to be a top line horse for quite a while.
And importantly, did you pack that lucky suit?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
It's all there. Don't worry. It'll be stepping out.
Oh, that is fantastic. That is great news. It's going to be an incredible weekend. And as always, mate, we love chatting to you. Good luck. We're all barracking so hard for you.
Thanks, Richo.
Great to have the one and only David Hayes. Let's find some future winners. Some future winners with HUTCHI'S form files, and we always start with Sweet in Defeat. Who jumped into this file?
A total of 4, Richo, for the Sweet in Defeat file, and I think there's a few interesting entrants. One of them here is Samarkand, and I want to show this particular galloper because he had to do a little bit of work in this race, and yes, he was a play for the strategy during the week, but you can see in this first section, they've gone well inside of standard. So the pace was very hot early. I think it was about a 27-1 or thereabouts. So in any case, they've really burnt the candle early and he finds the top and it took them a while to sort themselves out, Shane, down the back. So you'll see in the 1-1 a horse that eventually sort of pops around and puts a little bit of pressure. I was perplexed at the time, given how hard they'd gone at the 800, that there was more pressure about to come. I think it was Handsome Bomb with Andrea Atzeni on board. So it was 27.17 that first section, which is, you know, a good 5 lengths faster than standard. And at this stage of the race, they should be getting a breather. Shane, I was surprised at this move from the horse that went forward with Andrea on board, Handsome Bomb. And I thought really to absorb that from Samarkand just showed, and he still kicked for home late in the race. I thought it showed a lot of mettle, a lot of fortitude. And I was a little bit, like I said, perplexed at the move mid-race off what was already a fast-run race.
Well, also you got to remember he did it up the rise, and he's not a miler. He's more a 1400 metre horse, Handsome Bomb. So it wasn't a very smart move as far as I'm concerned. It was pretty dumb, but he wouldn't have won anyway. It was a good run, and he kicked a bit, but he's just got to get that bit softer run in front, and that's when he's going to win. He's in his right class, Clint, class 4. They had to get home here the way they went.
Yeah.
There was always something going to get home.
You can see just there.
And that was a really good ride from Karras in that race.
It was.
Very, very good ride. He gave that horse a perfect ride.
You could see him kick for home there. I mean, if he doesn't get that pressure mid-race, he still wins after going quick early. So he's won. Argento Ocean was 3 wide, no cover. Positive Smile, I thought, was a good run against the pattern at Sha Tin. And on a wet track, I think Pearl of Pangs was another one that was off the track and probably had excuses. So a few talking points from that one, Richard.
Yeah, absolutely. Who was the top raider?
Yeah, good week in terms of top rating. Well, he's already got one of these this year. Hazy, what's he done to this old fella? This gelding used to race in Cairns.
That's right. He's a flying machine.
He's unbelievable. He's going so well, Shane Tomodachi Kokoro. I think you were giving him a good chance. Yeah, and he didn't have any favours in this race either.
Yeah, he was always going to be wide from his gate, but his trial was better than I've ever seen him do before he raced this season first up. It was an amazing trial. And of course, since that trial, he's won the 2 races and he was very impressive. Weight's starting to catch up to him in the ratings now, but he can't do any more than win. And he's been doing that, Clint.
Scan that QR code and then you can join HUTCHI'S Honkers, who's absolutely airborne at the moment. Hey, guess what?
What?
Strap yourself in. It's idle time. It's idle time. The Hall of Famer Raymond Shane Dye has cast his eye over all the rides during the week in Hong Kong. And what caught your eye, Shane?
Well, I'm going to do a little bit different. I'm going to show you a horse that was being ridden wrong and then ridden right. And you can see the difference. Okay, so here's Bull Attitude, gate 9. This is first up. See how they push him hard there to go forward? This is a 1,400-metre race. He goes forward and he's out of his comfort zone, and we can switch to the straight now. And you'll see him here weaken like anything. He weakens, right?
Yeah.
So that's 1,400 first up.
And that's on the 7th of September. That's on the 7th of September.
Now, second up, he jumps from an outside gate. You'll see him. He's ridden hard. He runs a fast time. You see him here being ridden hard to go forward to lead. And that's only 1,400. So he's had 2 1,400-metre races and he stopped both times. Right? So this is when you change things. Then we go to last Sunday, and from gate 2, when you think he'll lead, what do? They ride him quiet and confuse everyone. He stops badly there. Yeah. So this is the other day. All of a sudden, gate 2, most people have him leading. Watch, he doesn't move on him. He rides him quiet, and he actually gets 3 back the fence midfield. He's taken back a bit here. And there's no pace in this race on paper. And actually, the pros backed him, or computer teams backed him from 15s into 7, and they got it wrong because they thought he would lead and would be the only leader in the race. But he didn't lead, and they still got it right. Now, he gets a very good ride. He saves ground. This is a mile, not 1,400 metres where he's been stopping. And you watch him quicken here because he's got that energy, which I keep talking about. And he quickens over a mile to win. So the change of tactics is why that horse won the race. And I see so many horses like that if they could be ridden a little bit differently, it'll be a different ball game.
I love that piece from Shane.
It's brilliant, mate.
And you know what's really important. I think it's because this can be transferred anywhere in the world, and it shows. You see so many horses even in Australia in that second run fade out. Oh, we've got to go to the paddock, or we've got to put them out. And you think you can't get a mile. Race shape is so important, how you ride them, like Shane said. So, well played, Shane. I love that piece.
Absolutely brilliant, mate.
Yeah. So, I picked that up. It's a little bit different.
Yeah, no, we love it. Votes this week. So, Lyle, he only got the 2.
Look, Karras got 3 for Celtic Times. He was 30-1, drew an outside gate. He never changed one thing during the race, his action, his balance, or anything. He kept him smooth. It was just perfect. Lyle gets 2 for that, and Vincent Ho rode 3 winners. But I've got it written down here somewhere. Boys, there were other jockeys too that I could have given points to. Alex Wong, definitely. He rode fantastic, 3 winners in Skyheart. Angus, he rode Good Luck Babe. He gave it a perfect ride, took a sit, and was very, very strong, which was great to see, and won the race. And the other one was Jerry on Apollo Fighter. They could have got a point. But after last week, you boys told me I'm not allowed to do it again.
No, that's exactly right.
I've reined myself in.
Either that or what are we going to do? Honourable mention?
No, well, that's an honourable mention, and that's fine. But you've got the voting system that you've been given and the 3-2-1. And at the moment, who would have thought? But no lead to Purton at the moment.
He's running well, Jerry Chow, though. He's getting it done. I agree. That ride on Apollo Fighter, that was a fantastic ride. So it's exciting, I think, because a lot of these riders, they've got a chance. They've got a chance on the 3-2-1 system.
Do you, just to put a full stop on it, are you happy with our 3-2-1 system?
I've got no say in it, so I've got to be.
This is true.
Oh, well, no need to throw the toys out. It's your idol, but we love you what you're doing, mate. And that was absolutely brilliant with Lyle. That is fantastic. All right, let's look at global racing.
to Sessa. 200 metres to go. 4 lengths in front. Buckaroo's the only danger, trying to get into the lead. Duke to Sessa, 100 to go from Buckaroo, a length and 3/4, but it's going to be Duke to Sessa, Harry Copping.
Bella Nipotina moved up. Bella Nipotina with Growing Empire. Up the inside is Giga Kick. Giga Kick going to Bella Nipotina. Bella's in front though. Bella Nipotina wins the Everest from Giga Kick.
Down the wide outside, 4 in a line. Calandigan still trying to get a run. He might be good enough if he gets one. They race up towards the line. Royal Rhyme, Calandigan getting through far side. Economics and Mart is staying on. So too, Sea the Fire, Calandigan and Anmart as they race to the line. And Anmart is getting up for Shadwell to win the Kipco Champion.
Well, global racing this weekend is literally all around the wonderful world. It's going to be an epic, epic day. So that's going to be fantastic. You'll be able to cover it all and follow it all throughout the world pool as well. But before, there's all the highlight. I mean, incredible Caulfield Cup Day, Everest Day, British Champions Day at Ascot, and then Grand Premio Latino Americano Day as well in Brazil. So that is going to be absolutely superb. But first, let's reflect on last week, the Might and Power Stakes. Oh, Shane, I'd love your view here. 4-horse field, and Blake Shin gave them a galloping lesson, didn't he, on Globe?
Yeah, but he was always going to lead and get a soft lead. It wasn't hard to work that one out. I don't think she's going as well as she was Treasure the Moment. Her first up win was extraordinary. Now, 2 things happened. Either she had too hard a run first up, or it was the colic attack.
Yeah.
But she hasn't hit the line there, Clint, and I thought she was disappointing to what she's been doing last season and first up.
Yeah, she was certainly disappointing. I thought when she got in within half a length on the turn, I thought she'd go well. So maybe it was a setback. I don't know. They're going on to the Cox Plate anyway, and I'm glad they are. And I think Globe will now take his spot in that race as well. It'll be a lot harder test. The pattern was onside a bit for him, but he was still good.
Yeah, well, that'll mean it's a genuine speed. But it was interesting, Blake Shin. So he got a nice comfortable lead, and then he dropped anchor, let them all come up to him, and then sprinted away. So Cox Plates are different, though, Shane. As you know, you've won one on the Mighty Ocky when you were able to knock off the Great Mahogany. So some sort of a Cox Plate that was. Transatlantic winning the Toorak, well found by you, Hutch. Well done.
Yeah, this was a nice performance. So this will be a good form race, I think. We've seen Evaporate. He went back like a Lucy. Shana, this is a horse that I know has been on your radar from the run in the ATC Derby, and I think when they go back to Flemington with Like a Lucy up in trip, will definitely be one to follow.
Oh, she'll be winning at Flemington, 2,000 metre race or whatever they run her in there. She's just wanting Flemington. She's going good. Here's the Guineas. Clint Autumn Boy got a good Damien Lane ride, 3 back the fence. Had gate 1, so it wasn't that difficult, but got out at the right time, and he was just too strong. And listen, this horse here should 100% be going to the Cox Plate. If he's not, it's one of the worst decisions I've ever seen.
Yeah, Chris was saying he's a bit young and immature for it, but I like your call. You think he should go?
Absolutely.
Of course he should. It's set up this year for a 3-year-old. He's the right 3-year-old, 49 kilos, sit back and just circle them. And, if he runs 4th or 5th, he doesn't lose any value. If he wins the race, he adds that much value to the horse.
Yeah.
He should be running.
And, Shane, you know who will run? And that is Nepotism, who ran, 5th or 6th behind him there. He will run in the Cox Plate, trained by Hawksy, who you won a Cox Plate on it with a 3-year-old. I mean, the Mighty Ocky.
It's set up for a 3-year-old this year, this race, with no weight, because they're pretty even, those top 2 or 3 horses. Like Viva Sistina's not flying. She's going okay. And, of course, Sir Delius, he's going good, but he's not being convincing and winning by 3 or 4 lengths like you get most years, something dominant. There's nothing dominant this year. And, of course, Antonio, he's racing well. There's nothing that's really above the rest.
I agree.
I think Antino might be the one to beat, actually, at this point.
Well, I mean, I'm with Shane. If Autumn Boy was going that way, he
would
would
take a call. Get on the phone to Chris.
Oh, right. Okay, g'day, Chris Richo here. How about you put Autumn Boy in the Cox Plate?
I still remember.
Yeah.
I still remember that horse in the Melbourne Cup, Francesca Guardian, when it won the Moonee Valley Cup, and he didn't run it. It would have won the Melbourne Cup for sure that year, and he didn't run it because he said he pulled it out the week before the Moonee Valley Cup because it needed more time. It's been 3 years since and never got warm in the Cup in a race and could have won the Melbourne Cup.
I think he won it anyway, didn't he? Was that the year that Very Elegant won?
I think it might have been.
Yeah.
But,
Yes.
I think your points, and maybe that's the reason why Chris has got Via Sistina. Maybe he realises that you can wait another time for Autumn Boy because she's an 8-year-old mare. Hey, this is some sort of day. Saturday, 18th of October, all around the globe is a beauty. Highlighted in Sydney by the Everest and the King Charles III Stakes. So 2 Group 1s there. The Caulfield Cup, the time-honoured Caulfield Cup, building up to 150 years of history and tradition. Champions Day at Ascot. And then, of course, the Gran Premio Latino Americano Day in Brazil as well. You know what? Racing at its absolute best. The time-honoured Caulfield Cup, a handicap race, 2,400 metres, 4 internationals arriving in Australia as we look at the field. Chris Waller with a strong hand, Kieran Maher the same, and the top weight is Vauban.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, some races you look at and it takes a long time and you get more confused the more you look at it. The more I look at this race, and my opinion hasn't changed and probably only got stronger with regard to the favourite, and I think clearly the horse to beat. Shane, this was obviously the Turnbull, the best form reference for the Caulfield Cup. Weight for age. Half Yours was a fantastic run, probably the run of the race in some respects. Now, just under the handicap conditions, looks really pitched in, well placed, in form, and the right barrier.
He's just got everything to win the race. The right distance, he's won over that distance. He's got gate 2. He's got 52.5. He's just got everything going for him. And what beats him, Clint? I can't see anything that can beat him under those circumstances.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
Coming through that Turnbull, I mean, he's just the obvious, isn't he? I can see Adelaide River improving at 2,400 metres. The other one that will improve is Middle Earth, who's getting to his grand final, who missed the kick by 5.
Needs to jump on terms. But
needs to jump.
It was a very good run.
It certainly was.
Yeah.
Well, he missed it by 4 or 5 and he was beaten by 4 or 5, so you do the maths at home. What about the Metropolitan form, that Sydney form? He's a progressive young stayer, Royal Supremacy.
I thought what was interesting, I heard Damien Lane interviewed the other day and he was asked, which ride he'd sort of thought would be a good one to get, and Vauban was the horse that he suggested. Royal Supremacy was a great run here, but I just don't think it's of the strength of Half Yours. We're talking about that, superb run in the Turnbull. I think that's a cog down, but there has been some early market support.
Now, Vauban's got 58.5 kilos. Now, I know the weights have gone up by a couple of kilos, but no horse in the last 30 years has carried more than 58. So that's northerly sort of territory.
Yeah,
so
no, it is.
That is some sort of task. What about the internationals? Shane, a horse like Maidan, who runs in behind Giavolotto, who then goes and runs 4th in the Arc. Is this the best of the internationals?
Well, I can't work them out. I don't watch enough of it. His form on paper seems okay and he keeps whacking away. Whether he's good enough, I don't know, I think, Clinton, you have a better idea than I do.
Yeah.
And I think you're keener on him than I am. Look,
I just think that they always measure up. The internationals, they always run a race. This is the Japanese horse in Golden Snap who's been... she's running a number of group races, sort of Group 3, and she's sort of been top 5 on a couple of occasions.
I've looked at her figures. She's got a little bit to find, I think, on her performances. And Maidan is certainly progressing the right way. But, yeah, I mean, I suppose the big thing... I think it's a field that doesn't have a lot of depth, so Maidan's got to be one of the main hopes. Yeah. I think it really falls away. I'm having a Cornella with those numbers on screen. I'm very, very keen on Half Yours. I think... he'll start shorter than that price that he's on offer early on the day, and with the Whirlpool, hopefully get a nice collect.
What do you think, Shane?
Yeah, well, I've got Half Yours on top for sure. I know he was 280 in Australia, but he's going to start shorter than that. He's just got a Vauban. Gate 13 will suit him. He likes a bit of room because he's a very big horse and he just keeps coming. And, of course, Royal Supremacy. But, I wouldn't be surprised if that favourite started 220 or something.
Yeah, I agree with you, especially if some of the other favourites early on in the day. We get to the King Charles. So here we are over the 1609. So the old mile, if you like, and that allows a 3-year-old filly to get in with a very light weight here, and that is within the law. Because of the change up to the 16.09.
Do you know what I said about when you look at a race and you see it clearly?
Yeah.
And you know what you're going to do? That's the Caulfield Cup. When I look at this race, the more I look at this race, the more confused.
Well, Fangirl has the acceleration of that's the envy of all the others, but I suppose the big query is going to be, Shane, whether that acceleration is taken out of her by Pride of Jenny.
That's true. What people don't realise, you think a fast run race would suit her where she can get back and just storm home. But with Pride of Jenny in there, it's very hard for those back markers to get into the race. It's difficult because from the 600 to the 400, you're working too much, Clint.
Yeah, and she's stretching them out from about the 1,000, and that makes it hard for the back markers. This is also that I don't mind. Each way, I think Pericles is one that I'm going to give a chance to. Bjorn Baker's had a couple of runs. I think both efforts have been really solid, and I think he can run well. He's a hard one to knock, Brightside, Shane, but the problem with Brightside is it's like when he sees Pride of Jenny, it doesn't work out for him. I think they sort of tactically, for whatever reason, get it wrong. They're too neutral on him. What was your take on Brightside here?
Well, he's got gate 12. He'll press forward a little bit, I would say. He knows it's going to be a fast run race. He's very consistent. This is the interesting runner, Lake Forest. Here's him at Canterbury, of course. He won last year, of course, in Sydney when he was there. I think he's got a great chance, Richo.
Yeah, and you've got Lake Forest on top.
Yeah, I got him on top from Mr. Brightside Fangirl, but I'm hoping he turns up like he did last year, because if he repeats that and the way the race is going to be run at a very fast pace, gate 2, he's going to get an easy run not far away. He's going to be very hard to beat. I'm
with Pericles, and I'll have a Cornell in the Whirlpool with the numbers 4 and 10. I think that's the way to play. A little bit of value. I think it's a very tough race, Richo.
So you think 14th time lucky at Group 1 level for Pericles?
Yeah, maybe third run for the stable.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Worth noting there. A look at our global racing.
Andrea Atzeni has been a sought-after rider around the globe for many years and now finds himself a Hong Kong success. Today, he sits as one of the leading jockeys in the room, a huge feather in his cap after his first taste of riding here in 2014. So last year you finished 3rd on the jockeys roster with 58 winners, which is a huge achievement. What were the highlights for you?
So yeah, last year number-wise was very good. It's like anything, I'm sure I could have done better, and you always want to do better, but I can't really complain with riding 58 winners. I had a lot of support from obviously a lot of trainers and a lot of owners. But maybe the highlight of the year last season, actually, there was a horse called Beauty Destiny, which I really enjoy riding.
Here's Beauty Destiny dashing up the inside. Beauty Destiny wins again for Andrea Atzeni.
He's a horse that I managed to get it in by chance, and we sort of clicked and ended up winning 5 or 6 races on him.
Goodness me, Beauty Destiny. He is completely unstoppable. He wins again. He's won some good races, this horse. None better than that one.
And being from Sardinia, how do you get your taste from home in Hong Kong? Have you got any recommendations for us?
See, in Sardinia we eat a lot of pasta and sort of bread, and which, well, it's sort of an Italian sort of way.
Sounds like the best diet ever.
I know, but fortunately I can't eat. But when we do go out a lot. We love going to the Blue House in the Rosewood. Yes, yep. It's not a very Italian name,
but it's a really nice vibe there.
Very nice. Like when somebody said to me, "Oh, good Italian called Blue House," like the name doesn't sound Italian, but the food is unbelievable. It's probably one of the best pasta I've had since I've been here.
So a lot of the boys at the moment are right into their golf. Some love tennis, wake surfing, mountain climbing. What do you love doing outside of horse racing?
Yeah, the only thing I do on my days off, hiking, or we go out with Emma, we go to town and go to the restaurant and do some shopping. Just, there's so much to do, and I play tennis too, actually. When the weather is nice, we do play tennis. So yeah, hiking and tennis probably my 2 those things.
So Andrea, can you tell us a little bit about the Palio?
Well, obviously the Palio is in Siena, Siena is actually one of the most beautiful cities in Italy, and I highly recommend it to go there. Even if it's not during the Palio, it's unbelievable. Beautiful food, nice wine, nice weather, everything is brilliant, very relaxing. So Siena is a town which is separated with like 17 districts. So it's like 17 different teams, but only 10 can race in the palio. So there's a lot of rivalry going on too. So a lot of the times during the palio, there could be 2-3 teams that sort of against each other.
Okay.
But there's a lot of money involved.
Oh, okay.
And but that we don't see. Obviously, they try everything for the rivalry to win. Actually, I remember one year my cousin, he was riding the favourite, and the rivalry was in the race, and they gave this guy hadn't ridden for 10 years, and anyway, he was in the race just to obviously do a job, make sure my cousin didn't win. They jumped out, he got upsized him, he grabbed him by the collars, and they dragged him off the horse.
Oh!
And he got another 10 years off.
Oh, okay, so there was a big inquiry over this.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you're allowed to do that anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. But it's something that you have to go once. And also, I think if you want to go watch the palio, you want to go there a couple of days before at least, because I think the build up to the race is even probably better than the actual race.
Okay.
Because they've got the dinners and they start singing and singing against each other and the trials, and it's good.
100 out, Circle of Fire beating off Athabaskan, and Circle of Fire for Andrea Atzeni takes out the Sydney Cup. Handled by Andrea Atzeni, making the trip down from Hong Kong.
Social Stable, a couple of interesting ones. And Shane, how important for Vincent Ho? This treble was just vital for him.
Very. He's come back, 3 or 4 bad falls, and he's been a bit quiet. So he rides a lot for Casper, and winning on Casper's horse there was really good for him. But he rode Speed Dragon good. He got back and ran on. But it's very important, confidence-wise, and also for trainers to see that he's doing it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. On this day, Hutch, can we go down memory lane? The best horse I've ever seen in the flesh. The mighty Frankel, he said goodbye on this day a number of years ago, 2012.
Yeah, he was an excitement machine, and what a horse he was. Of course, we saw an interesting Series to Seg, who he beat here, went to Hong Kong, I think, 4 times and couldn't win. Yeah. It was just unbelievable in Europe. But Frankel, he was one out of the box, might be the best ever.
Probably didn't handle the heavy track, yet still won there. And this was interesting, Shane. During the week, it actually made you tear up just thinking about riding in the Everest.
Oh, yeah. They interviewed me a little while ago about it, and they more or less said about the Everest. I said it's the only time I've had a tear, because I haven't missed riding. I really haven't, and that's truthful. But that day watching the Everest last year or the year before, when they had Sweet Caroline and they singing, geez, it hit me and I had a tear, and I thought I would love to be there riding, because I never experienced it, Richo. Yeah. I never actually rode in an Everest. It wasn't around when I was around, and what I could have done to make it even better for the crowd if I'd won.
Would he? Would he have played up to the song, if you don't mind? All right, best bets time. Thank God we've got him out of the saddle and into the analyst position. Best bets, who do you like?
Yeah, no, it's a really good weekend racing. I think My Wishes will be tough to beat. Like I said, I think they've got to go forward if they can. A bit of value in this Quinella place and Quinella. I think you take those numbers with my selection, My Wish. I think you'll be pretty well rewarded there, and the horses have trialled well. Outside of that, I think Patch of Stars, you'll be called up on the leader's back, and I think it'll be pretty hard to beat back to 1,200 metres.
Yeah, it looks very hard to beat. Golden Boy, what do you like?
Geez, I got a pay last week from someone, told me I had no idea it run last by 200 metres. He didn't realise the horse bled badly in both nostrils, and that's why it run last.
Right.
Double win in race 3. It's not the worst. It'll be a good each-way bet. It ran well last start. It's an open race, but hopefully at good odds or some type of odds, he'll run a place or win.
Okay, so that's race 3, double win there, which is horse number 13. Oh, it's been a jam-packed show. Everything is
Come on, Ka Ying Rising.
For the champ. Come on, Ka Ying. Show them how good you are.
There you go.